Let's get you an update on what's going on in the commodity space. Manisha Gupta joins us to run us through all those details. Hey Manisha, good morning.
Morning, Nigel. Thank you so much for that. Well, the crude oil prices is something to keep an eye on. We have seen a bit of a decline here, and that is after the U.S. data that came in yesterday shows that there has been a tremendous increase in the energy products. The U.S. output itself is at a record highs now at 11.9 million barrels per day, and the U.S. crude exports also are at an all-time high of 3 million barrels per day. So every number that you look at, we are looking at increase in supplies coming in. Also, the markets are looking at the global also. The OPEC and allies cut while of course is there, but demand continues to be a concern, as is suggested by the data that's come in from Asia, from Europe, from US as well. So while on one side you have the supplies increasing, on the other side the demand picture is yet uncertain, and that's what's bothering the space right now. But what also has seen gains has been the metal sector, especially after China injecting an all-time high, boost in sense of liquidity on banks, and that's taken the metal prices on the higher side. So everything from copper, zinc to nickel gained between 1 to 2% overnight, and we have seen strong gains come in for the precious metal space also.
All right, Manisha, thanks a lot for that. Well, from the commodity space, let's move on to the derivative space. And Manglam Malu joins in with all the cues from the FNews space.
Well, thanks a lot for that. Yesterday, the Nifty was absolutely flat. Through the course of the day, what we saw was the Nifty futures premium, that one contracted from about 42 points odd. We saw the Nifty futures premium end at around 31 points. So that's telling you that at higher levels, there was some selling coming by. And that is what was confirmed by the data as well. So the FIs, they sold about 800 odd crores in index futures, close to 20,600 short contracts added. This compares with just about 8,500 long contracts that the FIIs added. Important to ask and important to see whether the big range that we've been talking about, 10,750 to 10,950, holds or breaks out. The big question, because it's been almost a dozen times since where we've seen some selling coming at these levels. The SGX Nifty indicates a positive start. It's important to see where we go through the course of the day. In index options, there was some protection sought. So the FIIs, while they added about 3,700 long calls, they added 10,000 long puts. And while they added 10,000 long puts seeking downside protection, they also believe the downside is supported because an equivalent number of puts were sold. Close to 9,974 contracts were sold in index puts. The levels that we saw selling at 10,900 put, that one has a premium of around 120 odd. So that's telling you the first level of support for our markets would be 10,800. At higher levels, we saw some call shedding, 10,900 and 11,000. It's Nifty Bank weekly options expiry, 200 points on either side is where the maximum action is.
Okay, all right, Manglam, thanks so much for that. Well, as we wrap up on the show, we leave you our picks of our bullseye contestants for day 4 of the week.
The first buy recommendation is on Godfrey Phillips. One can buy Godfrey Phillips for a target of 1,014 with a stop loss of 940. The second buy recommendation is on Tata Global. One can buy Tata Global for a target of 223.60 with a stop loss of 213. The third buy recommendation is on Tata Sponge. One can buy Tata Sponge for a target of 813 with a stop loss of 769. And a fourth buy recommendation is on Container Corporation. One can buy Container Corporation for a target of 708 with a stop loss of 682.
My first call is a buy call on Muthoot Finance. The stock's closing price was 537. It could be bought for a target of 545 and a stop loss of 527 should be kept on the stock. My second call would be a buy call on Star, Stride Zarco Lab. The stock closed at 540 rupees yesterday. It could be bought for a target of 550 and a stop loss of 520 should be kept on the stock. My third call would be again a buy call on Repco Home. The stock closed at 440 rupees yesterday. It could be bought for a target of 448 and a stop loss of 432 should be kept on the stock. And finally, my last call would be a buy call on Mindtree. The stock's closing price was 841. It could be bought for a target of 855 and the stop loss of 835 should be kept in the stock.
My first pick is Graphite India. I buy it with a day target of 825 and a stop loss of 700. Second, JK Paper. I buy it with a day target of 160 and a stop loss of 146. Third, IRB Infra. I sell it with a day target of 148 and a stop loss of 160. Last, I continue with yesterday's sell call of Canara Bank. I sell it with a day target of 265 and a stop loss of 280.